you went to like a store
Yes.
and stood out in the window. Explain why you did that, why you came up with that concept.
It's so funny. My manager was like, so do you want to throw an album party? And I was like, well, like my dream ideally is to like stand for like the entirety of a day with a countdown in the window of some store.
All right, it's the new hit list on 102.7 Kiss FM. My name is Kayla, and today I have the beautiful EMELINE. How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
The first thing I noticed about you when you walked through the door, I was like taken aback at how you styled yourself, the way that you put different pieces together, the jewelry choices, everything. It screams so much about you right off the bat. So tell everyone who doesn't know who you are and how your style translates into your music.
Oh my gosh, style is everything. I feel like it's one of the most powerful art forms. I don't even know if everyone sees it as an art form, but the more that I've like been able to dive into my artistry, the more I realize that like, you know, my songs scream different colors, and it's such a like important way for me to express like even down to like politics appear in you know what's happening in the world, what are we trying to fight against, like what, you know, there's so many things to say with the way you present yourself. So I think it's like an ever-changing experience for me.
So you're always making a statement with your outfits. Are you always making a statement with your music as well? Are you the type of person who is always creating an anthem?
Yeah, I think that ideally, like that is what I want for my music. I would love to create, you know, songs that make change for people in their lives. Like my favorite experience is when someone tells me that like my song helped them get through a divorce, or like helped them leave a relationship, or made them realize something, you know. Or like one of my favorite responses to some of this music is like men specifically being like, wow, like this is the first time I've ever like really understood like a woman's perspective, and instead of like trying to make things preachy, just making things super honest, and then like letting it reach who it's supposed to reach.
So before we get into your album, because I have so many thoughts and agree with what they were saying about your music, but your genre, your style, you're a little all over the place. You do pop, but also there's some like EDM in there. What is the type of music that you love the most? Or are you just all over the place? And that's fine too.
I'm all over. I consume like, I honestly don't consume that much contemporary music. I feel like when I was listening, I listened to like a lot of like ABBA, Elton John, David Bowie, like when I was making this project. But yeah, I mean, I like it all. I think it's like good to stay curious.
Okay. So you just put out an album.
Yeah.
It's called Emotional Virgin.
Yes.
First thing that I saw on your Instagram was the way that you promoted it. You went to like a store and stood out in the window. Explain why you did that, why you came up with that concept.
It's so funny. My manager was like, so do you want to throw an album party? And I was like, well, like my dream ideally is to like stand for like the entirety of a day with a countdown in the window of some store. And we ended up figuring it out somehow. Wasteland in West Hollywood was super generous and let me stand in their window. But yeah, I mean, I think right now I've felt a little bit like claustrophobic with social media. And, you know, I've been working on my project for 5 years, promoting it the same way. I really like, it's part of the reason why I wanted to go back on tour too. Like I want to see human beings. I want to like look into their eyes and have like, I'd rather be the billboard. Like I want to make, you know, I want to do performance art. And part of me, a lot of this project is like about the perception of being a woman. And there's a lyric in one of my songs that's it says, I'm just a doll here. And so part of me was like, I want to be a mannequin so I can express that. And like, even if it makes some people uncomfortable, like, you know, the quote, art is supposed to disturb the uncomfortable and comfort the disturbed. So I that's one of my favorites. But yeah, I basically wanted to create like throughout the day, which yes, I did have to pee if you guys were wondering.
Wait, so were you there for like a total 24 hours?
I originally was going to do 12 hours, and then I've been working with my childhood ballet teacher, who I haven't spoken to in years, but she used to perform in windows around like Providence, Rhode Island, where I grew up. And so I actually called her, and her name's Mary Paula. We collaborated on this. But I was like, yeah, so I'll just like be in there for 12 hours. And she was like, oh, I love torture art. And I was like, okay, maybe I don't do 12 hours. So I did 4, which is still a long time.
It still is, yeah.
But I did like 3 setups of like different symbolisms of like losing my emotional virginity. Most of this album, even though there's a lot of sexual innuendos, none of it to me is about sex. Maybe one song, but
gotta have one.
You gotta have a little spice in there. But yeah, so I did 3 setups of just like, you know, I did like popping my cherry.
Your cherries, I saw that.
Smeared, got very messy. Yeah, anything I can do to get messy in this project. The music sounds messy, so I'm just, you know, it's been really fun. It's been a lot of energy, but
girl, that's what I like about you. It's so out of the box, and I'm so tired of seeing the same rollout.
Yeah.
That's why I love what BB Rex is doing with her rollout. It's so different, and so doing something like that to really capture people's attention, and we actually get to see you out in the streets. You know what I mean? Like we actually get to see you. I think that is brilliant, and I think also I love the concept that this whole thing is just messy. Like that's the word that you just used, was messy, because that's how we all are. That's how life is. Yeah. And it just, you are representing us.
Yes.
So when it comes to this album, you're unapologetically like your sexuality. Your album, it's unfiltered in the best possible way. Why do you think people should be listening to it?
I think I'm just really unafraid. And I think that, you know, in this time in our country, a lot of people are meant to feel like maybe what they want to do is hide. And I think that when we start to feel that, what we need to do is be more proud of ourselves, feel less shame. And so I think that like what I want for this project is like, it's anti-shame.
Yeah.
And you know, it was really healing for me to make. I really like hit the nail on the head with a lot of like, you know, I don't even know if I would have been able to listen to this project a few years ago, because I don't know if I would have been in like the emotional place. But I like had these collaborators that made me feel so safe to like go so deep within myself. And, you know, I don't know. I think I wasn't conditioned to like be so honest growing up. Most women are not. But to get to this place where I just don't care is so liberating. Yes. And there's like, I don't feel any shame. And so that's why I want to smear myself on a window, because it's like, you know, nothing matters.
Yeah.
Nothing matters.
One of the things you said about this album, it's all about rage, rebellion, and rebirth, which I think is beautiful. So what exactly were you shedding? You said that now you don't give a fuck, right? Mm-hmm. But before, what was maybe the emotional baggage that you had to let go of?
I was in a toxic relationship, and I think that was really, it stuck with me. It made me, you know, I was born a very confident girl, and somewhere in my early 20s, I like forgot that for a second, but it's okay, I remembered. And yeah, I think that, you know, having that experience, I know I'll never go back there again. I know that, I think this first project is kind of like my early 20s to me. Like, you know, and just explaining, you know, I've been referring to it as like pop shadow work. Whereas I think like a lot of what I'm known for, like maybe Cinderella's Dead, a lot of those like anthems of like getting out, I was writing those songs as I was actively getting out of those bad situations. But this project to me, I felt safe enough to like dive within that wound and like really like just say the brutal, honest truth of my feelings. And now I actually like in a positive way, like don't relate to it so much. But I feel like when I, because I've healed. But when I like go on tour and I get to like dress up as this project, it is really healing, because I get to like embody that girl and like just send her like so much love.
Yeah. And also it's like, well, that's not me anymore.
Yeah.
And like, look at what I went through and I overcame it.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. The song Against the Gates is like the epitome of rebellion. And what story is being told here?
Oh, I wrote this song with a dear friend of mine. I think it was a song I've tried to write my entire life, and it needed to be like the right moment. I've been like just waiting for it to appear. I've always kind of wanted to use like religious imagery to tell the story of like me becoming unapologetic with my like accepting who I am and my sexuality. I actually don't have religious trauma.
I was about to say, like, did you come from a background where?
Not really. I know the experience for so many people though, so it's something that like I'm passionate about that other people shouldn't have to go through. But I've just always kind of wanted to use that imagery to express sort of my experience having like, first of all, queer sex and how that ended up like solving a lot of my body image issues. And like, why would I look at this beautiful woman and be like criticizing her thighs and her, like, I don't do that when I am experiencing love with someone of the other gender.
Wow.
And so why would I look at myself in the mirror like that? And it really like reframed things for me, having that like beautiful experience and how holy it is. And I also just like, I think that like the word is holy that I would use. Like it literally feels like it's so being so true to who I am. And so I worked with my friend Sizzy, who's an amazing artist as well, on this song, and we like just she got it, and it just was like such a beautiful like birth, this song.
I mean, the music video is beautiful.
Thank you.
It is set inside of a church.
Yes.
And then you are singing about queer love.
Yeah.
Which some people would think don't go together.
Yeah.
Why did you decide? And you directed this music video too yourself, which is amazing. Why did you decide to set it in that scene?
I had like the visions of that. That was, I mean, honestly, like the final product was like above and beyond my wildest dreams. It really was like I went to my hometown in Providence, Rhode Island, and like the entire community pulled through for me. Like everyone in the video is like, that's my community from my hometown. Like the church was incredible. They like let me shoot there all day. They were just super supportive. They just wanted to be vocal about like their support for me. And I mean, I always had like when I write songs, I always have like a separate document of like the visuals I have, and like that first like intro scene. It's, you know, the flashing between like what's happening and then what it feels like. I sort of wanted to capture that, but again, I'm just passionate about like anti-shame. So,
That is a beautiful message and a much needed message.
Yeah.
So with your music that is coming out in the future, what else can we expect?
Oh my gosh. Well, little would you know, I'm almost done with the next album because I don't know, I guess I've kind of been writing them at the same time. So yeah, I mean, I guess this album has been a process of like 4 years almost. That's why I was like, with The Window, I can withstand 4 more hours. Like it's fine. But I go very deep into myself for what's next. I pretty much know exactly my next 3 years planned out.
Okay.
Like I have a sheet of my hair, which is just psychotic. But an artist like me, it's good for me to be off of a label because I have too many opinions to be told what to do by anyone. But yeah, I'm very much like free now of kind of like the wound that I talked about in this project. So going forward, I'm actually really excited to like not talk about men and like not talk about being hurt by these things, and like actually, you know, I don't need to talk about I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I'm not going to talk about a boy if I'm cutting that noise. What's right in front of me is, you know, space for me to connect with like my ancestors and like my generational trauma, and like you're not going to be able to like tap into the next level of artistry if what you're doing is like repeating a cycle. So I'm really excited for everyone to hear where this progresses, and I will never like I commit myself as a human to growing, so I know that the art will always follow, and that will lead to, you know, different eras forever and ever. But I'm excited for everyone. I hope that what I can do with that is like encourage my fans who found me because they also had similar trauma, encourage them to break their cycles and like not date that like shitty guy.
Yeah. Evolve together.
Yeah, like let's go.
I love that. So no more rebellion, rage phase. You're in your happy era.
Yeah, exactly.
So are we gonna get like
I'm healed?
Thank God, we're all finally. I'm healed too, and it takes a long time, you know.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. No,
yeah, no, somebody else could come along.
Life,
but that's like the beauty of that. Again, that's the beauty of life, right?
But I'm prepared. Like I feel like I have my armor on, and I'm like, I mean, knock on wood, but come for me, life.
Yeah,
like, let's go.
I love that. So when it comes to performing shows, where is like your dream place here in LA to perform? Wiltern, Kia Forum, Roxy.
I honestly really want to perform at the Hollywood Forever, just like the drama. I mean, I also feel like, who knows, maybe like a ghost would take over my body knowing me. I'm like really open right now. But I think there's so many like iconic venues here. I would love to play at the Troubadour. I love, the sort of like old, like romantic looking locations. And then also, just places where I've had like transcendent experiences watching artists I'm inspired by.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to like have my full circle moment on all of those stages.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're excited to see you go far. We know you will. Like, you are incredible for everything from just like your whole look into your sound, and then also what you stand for. It's like, it's needed. It really, really is. So we're excited to follow you on this journey.
Thank you for highlighting me and caring about it.
You're welcome. So before I go, or let you go, this is the new hit list, and we like spotlighting new artists, new talent, sounds that maybe a lot of people don't know about. So is there someone on your playlist or a specific song that you want to shout out?
Yeah, speaking of rage and rebellion, I recently became obsessed with this artist, Girly, Girli. She's London-based, and she just like, it's in a similar way that my music does. Like, I listen to it and I'm like, oh, she just said it. Like, like she just said the words, and it's really inspiring to listen to her.
She's raw, unfiltered.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to check her out. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Emeline.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. And come back when your new album's out, okay?
I will be back soon.
All right. It's the new hit list.